Yes, trade will undoubtedly be a very strong feature of the visit. And when you look at the calibre of our senior team that is travelling with the Prime Minister, that's obviously a priority. We're very lucky that we've had a free trade agreement in place with China since 2008. And there was an upgrade to that agreement last year in 2022 to ensure that it remains current and relevant across new emerging areas like e-commerce, for example. But I think one of the strengths of this visit will be to focus not just on the traditional areas where we've had strong cooperation. Obviously, we're a very strong exporter of primary produce to China, and that's going to continue. But we want to kickstart again our education and our tourism engagement because during the COVID years, there just wasn't the flow of people between the two countries that we're accustomed to. And we have on the delegation representatives from emerging sectors as well. And I think that's a very strong area that we would like to advance during the visit. Areas like health and well-being, gaming, even companies working in the Chinese metaverse. And that's not something that perhaps China thinks of when they think of New Zealand, but we want to show that we have that breadth of value and experience across multiple sectors.
Because China is, of course, New Zealand's biggest trading partner, and perhaps it has slightly struggled to diversify its trade relationship with Beijing. Do you think that's changing now?
Well, I think there's definitely an intention to diversify. It's hard to go past those hero sectors that have been responsible for so much of our trade in the past. You know, our dairy and our meat, primarily, also our fruit and seafood and so on. That's not going to change rapidly because the demand for New Zealand products in those categories in China is just so large. But I think there is certainly an intention to focus back on some areas that were beginning to really perform for New Zealand prior to the COVID-19 years. Tourism, for example, we previously, up to about 2019, were welcoming 400,000 Chinese tourists a year to New Zealand. That effectively dropped to zero very, very rapidly. We want to see that come back, so we need to see a resumption of direct flights, and we're very pleased to see that those are already starting again very quickly. And education is definitely a part of that, with students returning to New Zealand as well.